with the theme Implementing Equality through Gender Neutrality at Home, at Work, and at the global community. So we'll first start with Dr. Nipa speaking for us.
Thank you so much, and it's great to see everybody here on a Friday evening. Without any further delay, I'm going to start off with my presentation. Yeah, for all the wonderful women out here, I think it's time we tell each of ourselves that you are the queen. You know, in our heart, in our mind, in our soul, that's how we need to look at ourselves. So just a quick thing, to understand why each one of us is sitting here on a Friday evening when you could be doing so many other things for yourself. You could be partying out, you could be shopping, you could be de-stressing and just chilling out at home. It's great to see all of you all sitting over here. And I'm coming to understand that each one of you is looking to strive further ahead in your career for more success, for more happiness. Rather, a combination of the two is what all of us look at every given point in our lives. A lot of people say it sounds very greedy to say that you're successful, but that's not always true. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to strive for further success. It's okay to be hungry for more success, more power, more ambition. As far as we know where to draw the line and to what extent it makes us happy. A quick thing, how we introduce each other is generally we know each other by our name, by our qualifications, our location, family, sports, interests, what is the future holds for you and what are your hobbies. So, maybe if you can just spare some 15, 20 seconds and if each of you can introduce yourself to the neighbors, to the partners, it'll be great. So I'm giving you 20 seconds and each one of you can take 10 seconds and just have a brief talk about, what each of you is, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself so you know your neighbors well. Okay. I guess everyone's done with that, with a little introduction, and I'm at least you know your partner's name, if nothing more, and you remember that at least till you go home up towards the end of the session. Okay, like each one of us, me, you, everybody, if we just go back to our childhood, most of us come from traditional Indian families where the core of our growing up revolves around studies. As a good daughter, you're expected to help at home, lend a helping hand at home to your mother, to your father, to your siblings, to your extended family. That's the way we view growing up girls in most of our Indian setups and households. Most of us today are privileged that we have our educational degrees with us, but despite that, there's one thought that's always been hammered into our head is that you got to manage the house. No matter how educated you are, what are your qualifications, how far you think you're going to go in life, you still have to manage the house. That has to remain your priority, your family, your siblings, your in-laws. And most of us grow up with that idea. So even at times when we want to, go somewhere, juggle our things, we're always looking at, okay, how am I going to set things well back home that in my absence, things are well taken care of. As much as we choose not to, be in that zone by default because it's hammered into us, we are there in that zone. As you grow up as girls, also we hear a lot of statements like, oh, if you study too much, it's going to be hard for you to find a great match for yourself. If you're too thin, you need to put on a little weight. If you're too fat, you need to go thin. Or you're wearing glasses, your eyes are weak, who's going to marry you? So a lot of these kind of thoughts which we silently either experience or we hear it from people around us, somewhere or the other in our lifetime, we have gone through it. And this so much sits into our head at times that somewhere we start doubting ourselves. We don't know what we are, who we are, because these things start creating us. Or you see a lot of them running to the gym, not because fitness is on the mind, but because being thin is on the mind. There's a difference in being thin and being fit. It's a difference in having a healthy mind and a healthy body versus trying and staying in the rules defined by society as to how I would be. So we are so engrossed in this that these thoughts, which are not really our thoughts, but thoughts of people around us, the noises of people around us start creating our personality. They become the way we live. They become the way we raise our daughters. or we treat our daughter-in-laws. And somewhere down the line, we're so confused and lost in this whole bargain of ideas that we forget who we really are. I'm a daughter, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sibling. But at the end of the day, what defines us is exactly why that little introduction was as to who you are, besides playing all of these roles here. If you're allowed to work, still how, taking care of the house, managing the house is the top priority. Now, these ideas, when they were rotated and revolved around us, the whole idea of our parents or family members, extended family, whoever was floating these ideas, let's understand that it's not their fault. They've been raised like that, and it was more their way of protecting us, their way of taking care of us. And in doing so, they didn't realize that they've actually tied down us to certain thought processes, certain ways of living, certain styles, which maybe as we grow up, we don't want to be that. We want to be someone else. So I don't know, how many of you have gone through this, but as far as I understand, most of the women, especially in the Indian setup, go through this kind of a growing up. And somewhere, given today's awareness, a lot of them are trying to break free from it, and they're also trying to inculcate different values in their daughters as they grow. So as we go ahead with our session today, that's why I said, it's great to see everybody here on a Friday evening when you have given yourself priority. You've taken care of yourself. You've understood what you want for yourself. If we can everybody see the screen well?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Just 2 minutes. If we can, if all of you have your mobiles in hand, and you can go to this website called menti.com and just set in the code 17884688. Okay, just set in that code and you will see a screen which is asking you to say list down important focus areas of your life. So let's start listing it down as we go ahead. Let's see what. So generally, yeah, this is what most responses have come from. And the beauty about Mentimeter is everything that's listed in bigger fonts is something that most participants have typed in as one of their choices. Compared to the ones which grow smaller, those are probably the priorities of a fewer people. So this is how technically the whole thing is. Yeah. So if anybody wants to enter in more, anybody's yet left to enter in, please feel free to get in with that. So coming back, if you see most of the priorities in our life either revolve around our personal life or they revolve around our work life. For personal life, a lot of studies have shown that most of the focus areas of our personal life move around our personal love, health, child's education, food, parental care, planning, organization. Work, career remains right on top. It's exactly what we said. For most of you out here, career is the most important thing, followed by our appraisals, targets, projects, wealth creation, and salary. While most of it is revolving around this area, if you can just quickly pick up any one thing that is most important to you and see where do you stand on a scale of 1 to 4. 4 being bad and average, where you're really still struggling and trying to get over it. And 3 to 4 being from good to excellent, where you're maybe made enough progress, you're satisfied with the progress that you made. So in your mind, quickly pick up the area and see where you are standing in terms of the rating for the area that you feel is most important for you. So it could be maybe one area in your life, one area in your work. And this is something for you to reflect and think about what and how you are living your life and what you are doing with yourself on a day-to-day basis. And also to understand if you are okay to discuss it with your partner, maybe you can just check and see where you stand in the area that you most picked up. Or you can take maybe 4 or 5 seconds to do that if you are happy to do it. And let us know, how things are working for you. Coming to think of it, I'm sure when you picked up, maybe some of you had picked up similar areas, maybe with different ratings in each of them. Or some of you had picked up different areas with maybe similar ratings, which is again a point to prove that each of you is an individual with your own priorities, with your own set of values and the way you wish to live your life. If you look at the image of these two women, known by all of us, Mrs. Sudha Murthy and Ms. Indra Nui, both of them are extremely successful in whatever they're doing. But if you look at the sheer way in which they present themselves, is completely different. The areas in which they are functioning is completely different. The kind of work they do, the kind of roles they play in society is completely different. Yet, each one of them is successful in their own way. So, it's again to emphasize that no two people are going to be the same in every way. You're all unique. So, that's the first takeaway for you from today's session, that you are all unique. Each one of your life is unique. Your dreams, your desires, beliefs are also unique for each of you. So, like you have seen, each one of you may have had a different rating, a different comparison uh, in terms of what areas you pick up. But also, at the end of the day, to understand that it's okay to be different from the other one. You don't need to copy the other one, because success for each one of you comes in its own way. What is more important is, how do you balance out all these roles? I'm sure throughout your life, when you are working at home, at workplace, you have come across women who probably struggle to bring about the balance, and yet they have been successful. So if you can just discuss with your partner for a moment as to what do you think are the values, or what do you think is it that makes them balance it out for themselves. You can just spare some 4 or 5 seconds, because we're running short of time, to figure out and discuss what it is that allows them to balance it out despite the struggle. It doesn't come easy to anybody. Everybody has to fight it out. So what are the qualities that they will use it to balance themselves? So taking it ahead from here, a study done by Stanford University actually brings out most of these criteria listed by people, as what is required to balance it out. Your ability to make good decisions, your level of confidence to present yourself, your communication skills, your ability to plan and be organized, the amount of knowledge you possess from various sources, and your vision, ability to foresee. Have you set your priorities? Most important, your time management and your positive attitude. How it helps you overcome almost anything and everything. The clarity of thoughts, the focus with which you know exactly what you want and how you strive towards it, and your ability to delegate everything. See, most of us believe that, oh, I need to do it all, but it's important to delegate as well. But all of this, when you compile it together, because these are your skills, which somewhere or the other may be more or less for each one of you, but ultimately it all defines self-value. So what is self-value? And if you come to think of it, self-value is nothing but the way you look at yourself, the way you value yourself. And the way you look at yourself is the way the world is going to perceive you. If you see this lady in the mirror, she's hugging herself exactly the way she is. If you see the International Women's Day theme this year, again, this is the way they've been giving it out every year. So it's time you all give yourself a big hug, to move ahead and see that you really love the person who you are, whatever you are, however you are, you love yourself, and you're very happy to move on from here. So this defines another important takeaway for you. The momentum for today's session is that you are worthy. You are what you believe yourself to be. So if I believe I'm fat, the world is going to look at me like that. If I believe I'm unsuccessful, the world is going to look at me unsuccessful. I think these are the key parameters to what I think of myself, how I see myself, and how I want to move ahead from here. It's very important that we accept ourselves exactly the way we are. Because if I accept myself, my family is going to accept me as I am. People beyond my family will accept me as I am, whether it is workplace, it's your friends, or wherever you are. And what do you do? What are the main ways? How do you accept yourself? You need to love yourself. You need to pamper yourself. Once in a while, take a day off for yourself. Maybe go to a spa. Maybe treat yourself. Maybe take a solo vacation if that fascinates you. Go for a coffee by yourself. Go for a movie by yourself. But love yourself. Give yourself time. See, loving comes very easy for us, to people around us, our family, especially our kids. We forgive them very easily. But when it comes to our personal self, we become very harsh on ourselves. So let's drop that idea today and see how beautifully we can love ourselves and make ourselves grow even better than that. The other way in which you accept yourself is, do not copy someone else. You are unique. You are different from others. You look different. You are made different. You have different strengths. You have different priorities. There's a difference in copying and, again, being inspired. When you get inspired by somebody, you're not imitating them. You're just picking up the positives which you think would work for you, suit you, and you try and inculcate them in your current self. When you copy, you lose your current self completely and try to be somebody else. And that's exactly what is something that we should stop doing it if we've been doing it all this while. Identify your interest. In the daily humdrum, the amount of work that goes on around us, most of the time we've forgotten what interests and hobbies are. That's why a part of your introduction included what's your hobby? What would you like to do for yourself? If you don't know what your interests are, you have never really reached that stage today, or you've never been able to identify or make time for that today. After this session, when you go back home today, try and spend maybe a few minutes and figure out what is it that likes you. What did you like as a child? Probably those are your interests which have been lost over the years in the tons of responsibilities that you've been loaded with. Try and see which of that interest you identify with today and start growing upon it. Analyze your personality. Very, very, very important. You are who you are, and you should be proud of that. Don't try to copy anybody else's personality trait. Find out your core values. Find out what makes you special, what makes you who you are. What is that one cause or one value that you really stand out with? Start living by it, and you will see an immense growth in yourself once you start doing it. People will start identifying you with that nature, with that value. For instance, if you take Mother Teresa, she had a certain value attached to herself, and today we know her as a philanthropist because that's what she lived by, what she believed in herself. So it's also important for us to identify what we believe and how we assess ourselves. Understand your potential, again, very important. If somebody says, oh, you've not done a good job, you're bad at this, doesn't make you bad. It's probably their vision, their perception, which has to be different from how you see and perceive yourself. Identify your strengths, see how you can grow on them, what is required for you to grow on them, and how far you can go and achieve. Is your current potential good enough for you to achieve everything that you want for yourself? Picking up the International Women's Day 2023 theme, embrace equity. So interestingly, all these years when we've been talking of equality, where each one gets the same thing. But in the bargain, we forgot that equality is fine. It's great. It's a great concept, but there are lots of gaps in it. Not each one requires the same thing. Suppose you have two kids. One is, and it's maybe you want to serve a fruit to each of them. Maybe one is fond of a banana, one is fond of an apple. When you say equality, you give both either a banana or you give both either an apple. But that's going to make the other one unhappy for sure, because that was not their choice, that was not their preference. So when we talk of equity, the one who likes the banana gets the banana. The one who likes the apple gets the apple. So that's what equity is. Each one gets what they deserve, what they require. And this image put up by International Women's Day, defines the concept beautifully and very clearly. And they come up with a slogan, equal opportunities are no longer enough. So all this while when we said equality, it took us those many years of equality to understand that there are lots of gaps sitting in equality. It's not a concept working for all. How much ever we try to take it ahead, how much ever we try to grill it or take it beyond a certain point, it's definitely not working for all. It needed to be looked into further. And it's a great idea that after the lockdown, after almost 2 years of struggling with the lockdown, they've realized something and come up with an idea which is very important today, especially for all you working women sitting out here. If you're holding responsible positions at your workplace, responsible positions at home, how to utilize equity, not just to make yourself grow, but along with even the environment along you to grow. And trust me, this is something you can inculcate in yourself, in the way you deal with things, in the way you are going to take things ahead. Very soon, others around you will start imitating this. Because when people understand that you have to give each one what they deserve, what they desire, what they are meant for, you will see a remarkable difference in their attitude, in their productivity. Especially, an HR's role here becomes very important when you're hiring somebody. You're always known to filter out resumes and pick the right person for the right job. Similarly, when it comes to giving, try and figure out the right thing for the right person instead of just keeping a standard guideline for all, wherever possible. Of course, there are going to be limitations at workplaces, how far you can stretch it. But trust me, if you start stretching it a little today, you'll be able to take it a lot further tomorrow. But somewhere you need to begin with that. You are all sitting here, you're all career women, you, me, everybody, and somewhere we all want to move up the ladder. So what is it that we can do to move up the ladder? We don't want to be where we are. We don't want to stay stuck in that one place. And what do? A lot of times we are lost, that we are trying everything possible, but yet we're not able to move on. So whenever you're faced in such a scenario, understand that there is definitely something that's lacking. And what is that lacking? So I have not been able to cover all the points in detail for career advancement. I've just listed down a few which, from my perspective, from my years of experience, seem more prominent to me, and those are the ones I have put down over here. So the first one is, of course, each of us, because we are working women, we have a resume. You know what? This is something I have also personally done, and I have seen a lot of other people around me. I'm not just going to say women, men, women, everybody who's in the work environment. We never update our resume. Okay, once we have gotten somewhere, it remains dead over there. That's not the best way to move ahead. Updating a resume on a daily, on a regular basis, on a timely basis, maybe it could be quarterly, 6 monthly, but it needs to be updated till date. Sometimes you never know when you require it, when you want to give it a head. There could be smaller things that are suddenly slipped out of your head when you suddenly sit to make a resume. Also, making a resume is an art. It's a craft, which not all of us are always an expert at. So there's no harm in seeking help of a resume expert. But even to seek their help, we need to know exactly what all we want to show in the resume. So it's very important that you at least have a list of everything that you achieved, you've done over time, is mentioned clearly somewhere, so you can incorporate it in the resume when the time comes. We know this is in this today's time and scenario, there are so many layoffs happening. There are so many uncertainties moving. So suddenly, if I want to apply somewhere, if I have my resume that's updated, I have that one thing which is already ticked on my box, because ultimately it's my resume. That's the first thing that has to reach the HR of any company. So if it's already updated without any delay, I can pass it ahead. So if anybody has a resume which is dormant or which is redundant, please shake it up. Please move it. Take the help of your HR, take the help of your colleagues, or take the help of a professional resume planner, resume expert. But ensure you update it and keep it moving. Again, another important thing is network. Now, this is where a lot of women especially struggle, because each time you're done with your office hours and you're running back home, because we are programmed to take care of the house, take care of the responsibilities back home. But ultimately, we need to be networked. If you're in the workforce, you need to have a strong network. There's a strong tagline that moves around network is, my network is my net worth. So ultimately, the more I am networked, the more people know me, the more people know about my skills, and the more people know what I can deliver or what I can do, whether I can be an asset to the company or I can be an added advantage. So it's important for you to go around and meet people. Either you can do it on social networks, you have LinkedIn, you have other networks, or you can just physically go and meet people on and off whenever you feel the need to. But ensure you hold a strong network. Not just you come to the desk in the office at the start of the day, you wrap up your work at the end of the day, you close the desk and you just head back home. Don't do that, because growth from there becomes extremely, extremely challenging. People look up to work with you. This is very, very, very important. The kind of temperament you are, your personality style, the way you present yourself, the way you treat people, the way you communicate with people. You may not always be the number one in your job, but if you are someone that people are comfortable working with, they feel safe working with you, they feel the warmth, they feel the convenience working with you, you again stand a higher chance than versus somebody who's maybe a better off at work, better off in the skill, but very, very unapproachable. So these are basically some of these are soft skills which you need to hone yourself from time to time. If you don't know where you stand in terms of this regard, maybe have a casual conversation with people at office. Try and get a feedback from them directly, indirectly, whatever way, in the way you are conducting yourself at the workplace. Self-promotion. This is not equal to bragging. A lot of them feel that, oh, how can I promote myself? But it's not always that your work will speak to you. Work can go unnoticed sometimes. Once it is done, once the results are obtained, once a company has enjoyed the bit of your work, they've reaped the benefits of it, it may go unnoticed. So it's important for you from time to time when you're in meetings and conversations, discussions, to try and move those pointers in a very skillful way as to, what has been your contribution, how have you come till that, how have you worked to that. Let people know your skills. Let them know that you are growing with time, not just, you're coming, sitting, working, delivering, and going. Something more, something beyond that is important for you to move ahead at work. Establish your personal brand. Whatever your strength is, you got to be known by that. So it took a lot of time for me to understand as a coach what is my niche. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight for everybody. But try and identify your niche, whether you're a solopreneur, you're an entrepreneur, you're employed at an office, or you're in partnership with somebody. Have that one branding for yourself, that one word for yourself, where if somebody, because if that is a requirement for somebody, your name should come after there. They should be struck with your name saying, yes, this is the person I want to, I need to connect with if I want this job to be done. So it's very important to establish your personal brand itself. Plan your career. Don't say, oh, dekha jayega. When time comes, we shall see. No, it doesn't work like that in the professional world anymore. If you want to grow, if you want to advance, you got to plan. If I want my salary to increase by 5 times at the end of 3 years, I got to plan those 3 years. I got to plan those 2 years as to how am I going to move it. Is my current position going to help me get there? Do I need to switch a job? Do I need to look for promotion of a different level? Do I need to switch a department in the same office? So a lot of things that planning is required, which is very, very important. Just going, sitting there again. See, most of us, what we do is we're so bogged down with so many other responsibilities that we forget to lay stress on these parameters which will allow us to advance. A lot of people believe in attending a lot of sessions, a lot of seminars, a lot of workshops is going to solve the problem. But that is one part of it. That's gaining the knowledge, that's gaining the resources. What about putting the resources to use? That part is more important than getting them. It's like, you go to the market, you pick up some vegetables and come back home. But if you don't utilize those vegetables for the next few days, they're going to rot. You're going to have to discard them. The same thing happens when you're collecting skills from everywhere. You're upskilling yourself, you're upgrading yourself with courses and certification. That's great. But how you're going to inculcate in your daily work, in your daily presence, that is the key. That is your output that people will observe of you. So they will understand that, okay, if you've done a particular certification, if you've gone out and reached for help, yes, we are seeing that making a difference in the way you are planning things today. It's not that, I've gone, I've done that, I've forgotten about it once I have the certificate, and then I'm back to doing exactly what I've been comfortable doing. Step out of your comfort zone. Look at what is required for you to grow. And one of the things that most people overlook is getting in a mentor or coach. It's not always possible for us to do everything by ourselves. A lot of times we feel, okay, we'll be able to manage. But do you really want to just manage, or do you really want to grow and facilitate that growth for yourself? So each of those circumstances, even at office when you're working, you work as a team. You're not always the only one doing everything all by yourself, because it's not possible. Whoever is an expert takes the predominant role there and they start working around it. Similarly, if you feel in your career advancement you need additional help, go out and seek the help that's required. Because a lot of times it helps you fast forward a lot of steps and jumpstart a lot of steps, fast forwards your journey towards your goal. But ensure that each of these pointers are there in your planning when you're looking at going ahead. Of course, there are many more, but given the scope of time, this is all that I have been able to cover, which I felt were most predominantly required, or they're most predominantly ignored for whatever reasons. Pretty much most of the session is done. Just to summarize the takeaways from today's session, a list of do's and don'ts. Empower yourself. Define your self-value. Define yourself, but don't allow anybody else to define you. Oh, you're not good at this. It could be their perspective. It could be their vision. Don't be bogged down by it, but understand where you stand for yourself. Don't get unnecessarily influenced by anybody. So this generally happens when we are lacking confidence, when we don't trust ourselves. Our faith in ourselves is low. So that's when we tend to get carried away by what somebody else is telling us. So it's important that you build yourself from within. A lot of qualities that were described for balancing yourself were qualities from outside. What people are thinking of me is something that I incorporate within myself because we're just used to that. But it requires some effort to sit down and think as to what exactly defines you, what makes you, and that becomes who you are, your value, yourself. If you are strong on that, if you are firm on that, it's not possible for you to get carried away by external influences. Take accountability. Take charge for yourself. Don't wait for somebody to come and do it for you. That's not happening. In today's world, nobody is free to come and do it for anybody. You have to take the first step. You have to ensure you're moving step by step. You can get an accountability partner if you feel the need to define your goals. Start working with somebody, but ensure that you are accountable. If you can be to yourself, there's nothing like it. But if you can't be accountable to yourself, at least ensure that you have a partner with whom you can move on. Taking responsibility. Now, this is deliberately put in the don't section because taking responsibility is not bad, but don't overdo it. Don't say, oh, everything I have to do. No, you cannot do everything. Some things have to be delegated. You have to learn to delegate the right thing in the right amount to the right person. Acceptance, accept who you are. Very, 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 very important. Don't reject yourself. Don't get upset. Don't get some just because somebody has said something to you. People are going to say because that's their way of dealing with situations. You need to change your way of dealing with situations. Stop complaining. A big energy drain, a big time waster, a big loss of productivity in most commercial setups is complaining. Each one is complaining about the other because somewhere somebody has pointed a finger to me, then I point a finger to somebody else, and somebody else points a finger, and that cycle just continues. It's time you break these cycles because if you really want to see growth in yourself, it's important for you to move on from here. A simple assignment for the day. So, whatever has been your learning from this session, your takeaway from this session, within the next 24 hours, explain it to any one person. If you have taken the effort on a Friday evening to sit here and to attend the session, ensure that there is some takeaway for you, which you can deliver and pass it on to others. Remember, what you're going to give others is what is going to come back to you multifold. The law of karma, the law of universe technically states that. So this is it with my session for today. If you have any questions, any queries, or anything to be answered, I think we have about 5 minutes for that. If anybody wants to ask anything.
Any questions?
Hi, Dr. Nipa, I'm Rakhi. No questions at all, but I would like to say that I was mesmerized with the presentation. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nipa,
Yeah.
for
Thank
enlightening
you.
us with your words. So next is Rakhi Rana. We would love to hear you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my congratulations to Riaz. Because of him and his entire team, we are able to celebrate this event today. And I can say this very proudly that Riaz is not only just, arranging this event, but he is also implementing all of these things in his real life also. Why I'm saying this, because we are working very closely, and I've seen that recently, he has hired a team of young women, and those women are working. I mean, all of these women are even sitting here. These women are working very hardly from past couple of months to, make this event very successful. So congratulations to all of you. And one more thing, I mean, I'm really grateful and I'm really humbled that I'm sharing this evening today with all of you, all these beautiful and lovely, talented ladies. And I'm really grateful to share this stage with such talented people. So thank you so much. And one important thing, I am not a professional speaker, of course, and I'm not a motivational speaker, I'm not a personal developer, but I'm a salesperson. So good evening, everyone. I am Rakhi Rana. I'm the sales director of Drools Pet Food Private Limited. So we are a pet food manufacturer. So we are the second largest manufacturer in the India right now. And we are not just catering the nutritional needs of Indian pets, we are catering the nutritional needs of global pets around. Why I'm saying this? Because we are not just catering Indian market, we are catering 22 countries right now. So we are exporting to 22 countries. And I take immense pride by saying this, that we are on the footprints of our Honorable Prime Minister, who generally encourages and says that you need to make in India, you need to export from the India. And we are doing both the things together. So I'm really proud to be a part of this organization. Now, I mean, I've been working with Drools from past 5 years. But if I talk about my entire journey, I have close to 13 years of experience by now. And I've worked in multiple organizations, in multiple industries like retail, FMCG, e-commerce, startups, and manufacturing division. So today, what I'm gonna share with you, I'm gonna share the key important things which I've learned in entire 13 years. And I mean, if you can also, take any benefit out of those learning. So the first point is, if you could just, yeah. Guys, I believe hard work, productivity, and consistent performance is the key to success. See, it's right now I'm just touching 13 years in my professional career, and still I feel that I am still restless. I just cannot be in my comfort zone, and I can't just say that my team is working, that I can't, I should not be doing hard work. You have to be up. You have to always be working the way you've been working since day one. Always feel that this is the day one for you. Right, that's the key learning I can tell. And this hard work, would not take you to up in the ladder. This is, by the way, is required to be relevant in the organization. This is the first important things to have with you. The next thing which I've learned as of now is you need to grow. I mean, you need to think the ways how you can develop your skills. See, even if I talk about myself, I keep on thinking that what the next year would be what for me, what I can add on in my career. Would it could be anything. I mean, the graph chart could be different for you. You can learn presentation, you can learn Excel, PowerPoint, you can learn Tableau, whatever you feel like, because you know better what is required in your field. So accordingly, make a plan and accordingly start working on this. That's important, otherwise you'll remain the same what you are, right? Next point is, this is the last point from my learning, but this is the most important point, I would say, right attitude. The 2 points which I mentioned above, the hard work and I mean, we can see the screen also. The 2 point which we talk about, hard work and upscaling the skills, that's important to be in the middle management. But if you want to grow up in the ladder, if you want to be a part of a leadership team, then you should have right attitude. When I say right attitude, I want you and I want every woman, and not just the women, I want everyone in the world, do not crib about the organization. Do not crib about the problems. Try to be the problem solver. Right? I mean, it is very easy to spread negativity, but it's really difficult to be positive with the problems. If you are able to do so, I don't think so. If you are able to do these 3 things, I think then you are unstoppable. And I try to follow these 3 things in my career. So this is the major learning, I would say, I've taken from my 13 years of experience. Next, I would share, I believe there are few myths about the corporate world. So out of those, I'm going to share 2 myths. One of the myth I feel is, generally it is being said that women are less paid than men. I don't know you agree to this or you don't agree to this, but I am literally not in favor of this statement, because I've seen in my career, I have never felt this in any of the organizations, because I've worked in 4 organizations. In many of the organizations, even I was the one who was getting the higher package than my counterparts, and I'm talking about my male counterparts. And this is not by luck, by the way. And it is not a coincidence, by the way. This is all because of the hard work I've put in. This is all because of the productivity. You have to be productive enough. You have to be relevant enough. See, when we talk about gender equality, neutrality, equality, I mean, what is the difference between these two? The difference is majorly, equality means you need 50% women in the organization, 50% men in the organization. That's the equality. But what is neutrality? Gender neutrality is, if there is a position, who deserves this position? Right? So no organization is here for charity. If a woman is capable of doing some work, then women will definitely get that position. So this is my own experience. So I think we should not think of this as women are less paid. Rather, we should introspect, are we capable enough for that position? If we are capable enough for the position, we'll definitely gonna get that. And this I'm sharing with my own experiences, right? The next fact, okay, so the next myth which generally people have is, during the sutta breaks, we think that women are not a part of sutta breaks, right? And hence we are not able to part in such big deals where people, break big deals, they discuss about organizations and all. Guys, I'm telling you, sutta breaks and even the long drinking hours are the time when people informally crib a lot about organizations. So it is even better to stay away from that environment. So I have never been a part of any such activities, and I can tell you very, very confidently that that has never been a hindrance in my growth as of now. So being a woman, do not have this FOMO. This is what my message is. That if you are not smoking, you are not drinking, and you are not able to part of that particular environment, it is okay. Because I'm the one. And hence I can share it with my own experience. So that's okay, guys, right? So these are basically the few things which I've learned from my career. Now, I want to share one thing. This is not related to professional stuff. This is related to personal and professional both. You should be an independent thinker. if you're an independent thinker, you can have your own individuality. Why I'm saying this? And I would say that I was brought up with such incredibly amazing parents that they have always supported me with my decisions. And it was too early. I can share one story with you. When I was in 10th class, I completed, I passed. And then in 11th, because school was still 10th only, I have to take admission in different school. I took all my certificates, I went with my friend and I took the admission without my parents' support. And the same thing I did in graduation also. I've completed my 12th. I went to PGTV college in Delhi University. I took maths honors and I completed my graduation also. Same thing I did with MBA too. So I am not saying that my parents were careless about me. I'm simply trying to say that they were so confident in my decisions that whatever I did, they always supported me. And they knew that whatever she's doing is more or less correct. And the result of that is one day I came up with a man and I said, I want to marry him. And they said, okay. So these are the perks when you are a strong decision maker, I believe. Right? So this is not just, and the same, the kind of brought up I got, the same thing even helped me in my professional career. So whatever decisions I take in my organization, my MD, my CEO, they trust me. Hence I'm saying, start thinking independently. Your opinions matter. How you can start it at least. Whenever you are into any discussion, any group, share your opinions, give your feedback. This is how you would be able to create your own individuality. So work on your own individuality. This is not difficult. It's within us only, right? So this is the important thing which I wanted to share with you. And the one last thing, last but not the least, financial independence. Guys, this is the most important thing I'm telling you right now. The data says there are 12 crore women in our country. Those are well educated but not working. Imagine if those women join the workforce, what would be the economy of our country? What would be the financial health of their own house? What would be the financial health of themselves? Right? So, and why it is important? When I'm saying that you should be a decision taker, you've taken a decision, but how would you execute that? Suppose you're taking a decision that I want to become a pilot. That decision needs 25, 30 lakhs to execute. You've taken a decision, I want to do this course, and you're dependent on someone else for money, right? So you need to be financially independent. You should not look for someone else to bear the cost of your apparels, of your food, or whatever you do in your life. Do not put your expenses on someone else's shoulder. And once you have this, you would literally feel that you are actually empowered. 3 months back, I bought a house in Bangalore. I've been living here from past 1.5 years. I just bought a house, and that house is on my name. And I took 0 rupee from my husband. And I'm very proud of this. Shouldn't I be? I mean, that nameplate says Rakhi Rana. However, the nameplate outside my house says Rakhi and Abhinav. But the nameplate in the society says Rakhi Rana. I feel so proud of that. So I urge every woman that you should be empowered, right? And what is empowerment means, by the way? The empowerment means that the power to control your life. And how can you control your life? You can control your life by doing 2 things. First, taking your own decision. Be the custodian of your life. Second, execute those decisions. And then you need financial independence. So decision making plus financial independence make you empower. So the time when women, all the women in the globe understand this, then we do not need this word called women empowerment. Then this would be deleted from the dictionary, I believe. So today, my suggestion to all of you would be fearless, go limitless, embrace discomfort. So thank you so much, guys. I wish you all the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raki. So we would be moving further with Swati coming up on the stage.
Hi, a very good evening to everyone gathered here. Yeah, even before telling you all about myself, I would like to share a small story. Okay? So, this is a story which is relevant to all of us. Okay? This story is something, let's consider an elephant, which is a tiny, cute little baby elephant, which was found in the midst of the forest. And then one fine day, a person finds it. and he starts helping that elephant to actually nurture and grow. Elephants are always very potential, right? Very strong. But still, what happens is every day he'll make an effort to actually tie down that elephant to a tree, a papaya tree, we can consider. Okay? He ties it to a papaya tree every day, every single day, right from its the childhood kind of an age. And one fine day, the elephant grows and it's so huge, but still it'll be staying very close to the papaya tree. He will not chain it. He'll not tie it. He'll just let it free. But still, it'll ensure that it'll be standing there. And do you know the actual meaning behind this? Could you please tell me? Absolutely right. It's all our mindset. So this is how we women, we are actually nurtured, we are actually groomed, and this is how we are raised. So we women, though we know we are potential enough to take care of everything and we are potential enough for every single thing, but the way we are groomed, the way we are nurtured, the way we are raised is all our mindset. So that is the reason why even that elephant was not able to do that. So that's how potential we are. So that is why I'm here. This is Swati. Today I'm here to give a small intro about myself. Like I told you all, we women are always potential enough. It's not that we're on potential, it's just a mindset or the thoughts that we were actually fed when we were young. Okay, that's how we were raised. So let's break all those things and let's start. Okay, let me give you a small introduction about myself. I started my career 9 years ago. I was certified to be a trainer, a data trainer, as well as a voice and accent trainer at Infosys, Mysore campus. And then I was given an opportunity to train people across Karnataka for students, especially for the placements. So that's how I got the good exposure, and I was able to network with a lot of people, with many institutions and students. And then I was also given an opportunity. However, I was certified by Infi, right, the corporate sector. I was lucky enough to get an opportunity again to be a corporate trainer. So I started my journey as a corporate trainer as well at Infosys, Capgemini, Accenture, and then Timken, L&T. It goes on and on. Okay, and then luckily, I would say I would consider it to be a blessing, to be honest. I was also given an opportunity to train corps of Karnataka throughout Karnataka, which is like Karnataka Police Academy, where we, especially me, I would consider it to be a blessing. I was given an opportunity to train all IG, DIG, right from the ranking K till the grade K till, the constable level. So from IG till constables. So that's how I started my journey as a trainer. But now I'm lucky enough to tell that we started our own venture. I wouldn't consider it as because a venture cannot be started without a team, isn't it? So I would like to always consider it to be a we. So we started this venture, which is called Skills with Swati. It's been 4 years that we started, and right now we are associated with few institutions, not only in Karnataka as well as in Andhra as well. And then we are also collaborated with few corporate companies where we provide our services for their training purposes. So this is how I started my journey, and currently I'm standing in front of y'all here owning my own venture. So I'm proud to tell this. Thank you. So, well, let's get back to our women empowerment. See, everybody talks about women empowerment, women empowerment. Come on, dude, we are already empowered, aren't we? Yes, we are already empowered. So let's forget about the empowerment because we know about ourselves. It's just that we are not believing our own selves, right? We know that we can do a lot of stuffs, but still we are actually facing few things. First is when it comes to women, especially entrepreneurship, equality, and all these things, when we talk about it, first thing that we are facing is the challenge. The challenge does not only apply or is implemented outside our house. It starts from or within the house, right? See, I'll just give you all a small example. When you stand in front of your parents and tell that, Mama, I got a good job in IBM where I'm paid 60 to 80K per month. Then she gives a call to all their relatives and she says, this is how my daughter is going to, she's got a job, and they feel happy and everybody is there to congratulate you, right? Go stand in front of the same mother and tell that, Mama, I would like to be an entrepreneur. Just see how many people will turn up to you. Everybody will turn up. Definitely everybody will turn up. But they'll say, are you one crazy? They'll not congratulate you. They'll start advising us. Okay, that's how people will turn up for us. So that's where I realized, why should I be a brand for somebody else when I can be for my own self? And that's when I decided and I start this. Well, keeping this in my mind, I would like to tell you all, like the challenges that we are facing currently as a women entrepreneur. When we start initially, it starts from the house. Gender equality, again, it's not a cup of tea for a woman. It starts from there. However, you'll get married and you want to go and serve yourself and live your life, rest of your life with your husband. Why do you want to do this? This is the second question. And your relatives will be like, come on, you are really good. You have studied, you are educated, you're all well, but why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you know the challenges? Do you know the society? Do you know men? A lot of questions. Why men everywhere? We can do it ourselves, dude. Even they are human beings. Even we are human beings. It's just the thought, our mindset, which is programmed in such a way where actually we can handle it. It's not like we cannot handle it. Not everything seems to be difficult, but it's not impossible, right? As simple as that. We can do it. It's just that we should know how to do it. It's all our mindset. The next thing is, I would like to say, it's not just the challenges. It is also the support. Who's going to support us? When you start as an entrepreneur, we need the basic investment. Where do we go for the basic investment? We just go to a client and we say, this is what is my idea. I'll be looking forward for your extension of the support. So that person will be like, okay, is this your idea? Ideas and everything is good. Oh, yeah. Why don't you be a permanent employee? This will be the first question or the first thing that any client asked me most of the time. Any client I approach, your ideas are really good, Swati. Probably why don't you be our in-house? I was like, seriously? I quit in-house because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So there again, like rightly our friend told, Raki said, financial independence. Right? So there we need to get our financial independence. Let us not be dependent on anybody. That is when I realized, like, all right, fine. So why should I even depend on some client for the basic investment? So I then decided, probably I can just do a project that, however, I was a trainer. I continued being a trainer for a few years. Whatever I gained there, I started investing here. So it is nothing but secondary income. So let's start focusing on secondary income as well. That is when we slowly start getting the stability towards the financial independence, especially to be an entrepreneur. Okay. So next, it's not just about the support. It is also about people coordinating and also people helping us, not just financially, emotional support, right? Most of the time, we women break down in certain time, right? When especially we have this gender inequality and all those stuffs. When we go meet a client, time. For any woman, it's time. Why are you late? That is first thing. Okay? So we cannot keep on answering this question. This is the first, only basic question that I'm telling you. So like this, we do face a lot of questions and especially emotional, we need some emotional support during that time. When people say, no, you're not fit to do that. No, we can do that. Right? So we shall not be dependent on anyone else. When we are here to motivate our family members, why should we even be dependent on others to motivate us? Right? And one more thing I would like to tell you all, women are born leaders, huh? Seriously. See, we can take care of our family, we can take care of our professional life as well, right? So we are born leaders. So why worry when you're born to be a leader? It's just that let's change our mindset to be a leader and prove ourselves. As simple as that. Clear? All right. So here, these were the basic things that I felt like women are already empowered. Women are people who know better things. It's just that we are stopping ourselves from the potentials that we have. As simple as that. So for that, first thing that I would request any woman to do is, let's change our mindset. Of course, we all are living in this society. Okay, but it's not that we should always live for the society. Then when do we even live for ourselves? Right? Yes. So let's not be always dependent on the society for its commands. for its feedback. I'll give you one last tip. Whenever I choose any costumes, any attire for myself, I don't choose it by the way it's like, yeah, it's looking good. No, I don't choose it by its looks. I'll ensure that I would look better when I wear it. That's how I choose. Likewise, let us not be dependent on the feedback for people to give it to us. Let us be a feedback for ourselves. Okay? So, expecting something from the society, it never works because we are the makers. Okay? So, let's be and prove that. So, thank you so much, Riyaz, for giving this wonderful opportunity. And thank you. So, here we have a small intro about the company that we are right now heading. Okay. So, like I told you, it is Skills with Swati. Okay. This is the company, this is the venture that I am heading right now. So, we as a team, so these are the basic things that we are taking care of. It is not just the next one. So, companies over here that we are working or associated right now, where we are providing our services for. And it is not only for the companies, we do also provide it for the corporate sector, and we take care of faculty development program as well as for the student when it comes to placement programs. So, we take care of all these things. So, when it comes to faculty development program, so we take care of NLP, verbal etiquettes, and communication skills. So this is what we train when it comes to faculty development program in few colleges and institutions right now. We are providing our services for the principals and for the HODs as well as for the right from the kindergarten teacher to the principals. So we are providing facilitations for them as well, which includes verbal skills. That is nothing but the language, the basic language, which is relevant to their updated business English that we can tell, and as well as the NLP, which is really important for today's life for them as well. So we take care of that. And for students, when it comes to students, so we start right from technical and then non-technical courses, certification, placement, MBA research oriented projects, pre-placement. So we handle all these things together. Okay, so here we take care right from the scratch till the end. You find your own job. So we take care of all these things. Yes. So this is how we actually train, and this is how the execution process is. So first was, as usual, we will be conducting a pre-assessment, and then we'll be helping them with the content delivery, both offline as well as online, and then we'll be having obviously it's interactive based. Finally, we'll have post assessment. So this is the process of the training that we are handling, be it whether corporate or it could be institutions. So these are the few programs that we have already conducted. Thank you so much, Riyaz, once again for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Swati. Okay, so now we'll be introducing our international guest from Singapore, Mr. Rudy Fang. So we would love to hear you now.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Rudy.
So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen in Bangalore, and also friends who are joining online. Thank you very much for consent, Mark, Riaz, and team who invited us, our partners in India. So thank you very much, everybody, for giving me opportunity to share a little bit about what we do in Singapore and 16 countries of Southeast Asia and Central Asia. I got the opportunity just now to listen to the last 10-15 minutes of the discussion. Very interesting, ladies. I think post-pandemic, it is very interesting time now for a lot of people, including in India and Singapore. A lot of things are actually restarting, and I believe that all of us really want to move faster, right, if possible. Just to make up the time that we lost 2.5 years or 3 years ago, right? So I have about 10-15 minutes time to just share our experience and also the business opportunity that we think could be interesting for all of you ladies, and also some gentlemen who are joining us today. I think many of you probably know Singapore better than me. So Singapore is not a strange place or country for a lot of people in India, but I just want to update all of you on this one. Well, if you look at it, this is I think a couple of months ago. Um, I believe this is probably December 2022 by IMF. Um, well, India is definitely growing very fast. Pick up a lot of growth after pandemic. Singapore likewise, being much smaller country. It is still very amazing to a lot of people in the world that Singapore managed to actually get back very, very fast. Indeed, probably the fastest among the fastest in Asia. If you look at this number, what I want people to look at it here is you look at on the right hand side of the screen that they are made goods export. Many people that we meet, they don't know what are Singapore exports. They thought that okay, yeah, we are selling financial service, yeah, probably. We are selling tourism, yeah, probably. We have 2 casinos in Singapore, but we indeed our main goods export are machinery, transport equipment, chemical products, and quite a number of manufactured articles, which is high-end manufacturing. A lot of people don't believe it. How come Singapore, as such an expensive place, can actually manufacture goods and export them? So this is something that I think a lot of people probably don't realize, and this is something that we want to share next time in our discussion, not today. But I think there are a couple of things that Singapore does that many people, including in India, probably don't realize. Yeah? And this is something that we can do together next time. The other one very interesting is this slide that shows Singapore immediately after pandemic is ended. The endemic is ended. Singapore is among the probably in the world, yeah, among the best FDI recipients in the world, and this is also amazing, right? So Singapore, such a small country, and we are flooded with money. Why people still want to flood more money? Yeah. Other than, of course, a few other things that we know, but Singapore is really a financial center. Yeah. I think this is one thing that a lot of friends and businesses in India would like to tap. I believe, including all of us here, most ladies and gentlemen. A quick one on our collaboration with Concept Marks and also our company, Central Asia and Southeast Asia Business Chamber. Well, what we do is basically we bridge businesses in 16 countries of Southeast Asia, which is 10, and Central Asia, which is 6. Southeast Asia, I think all of you probably familiar with Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. While Central Asia, some of you are familiar too, like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and we add on Mongolia into it, which is ex-USSR. Basically, what we have done for quite a number of years, working with international partners, including India, is really, I would say, grow together. Yeah, I think this is something that big companies probably don't really want to do. We, as a small group, would like to grow together with any of you. We are not a giant company. We are not a multinational company as big as other companies. We are a small group in Southeast Asia. We have 8 companies in the group. We have businesses in Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, etc. And 2016, we started with Central Asia. 2016, we started with Mongolia, and then we went to Kazakhstan in 2017, 2018, Uzbekistan, and if not because of COVID, we probably have done quite a bit more in Central Asia. But yes, now we have experience in all of these international businesses in Central Asia and Southeast Asia, which is probably quite unique. As a Singapore company, we focus on couple of industries that we do well and we know well: food and beverages, travel and tourism, education and training, and information technology. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in this industry, we would like to know you more and then see the opportunity that we can do together. Of course, as a group of ex-bankers and also ex-IT, our team, we are very experienced in wealth management and investment businesses on top of whatever that we do that I mentioned earlier. In India and also in 16 countries, specifically what we want to do is to work together with SMEs that want to compete internationally on intellectual properties and business models, including asset plan. Now, this is probably something which is not common. A lot of people talk about products, but in our opinion, products are not so important. It is not the product which is important, but it's the intellectual property of the product, the brand, for example, the recipes of the food, for example, how you handle SOPs, for example. And of course, the business models, right? The 16 countries competition is a lot, and if we add India into it, then it is really huge competition. So if we just want to compete on product and services, or probably compete on price, it will be very, very difficult, and it's an uphill battle, right? So different business model is important, including asset plans. So we always want to work with SMEs to say, hey, we probably don't want to do what 2-3 generations ago do, like probably many companies in India, also many companies in Singapore still, that we want to build businesses for our grandchildren and the grandchildren, right? But we always tell ourselves that there is probably not really a good idea anymore, because by doing that, then we may lose our competitiveness. Yeah. So today we don't really have time to discuss about that, but I want everybody here to understand what we want to do. So basically, what we want to work with you is to shorten your learning curve, going international via Singapore. Yeah. So that's what we work on. This is just our top management. So I'm one of the shareholders, directors. I handle the sales, marketing, business development. So we have Who's who are very senior as a private banker. He's in Singapore too. Switzerland citizen. We have Chong, who's a Malaysia citizen, also in Singapore, specializing in investment, property, tourism. So we are very happy to partner with Consent Max, Rias, and the team. We want to bring in more product and services from India with, of course, and as I mentioned earlier, good intellectual properties and also good business models to grow in 16 countries of Southeast Asia and Central Asia. Since most of us here are ladies, and I just want to take the opportunity to update you that our company has been a corporate member of this International Women Federation in Commerce and Industry for many, many years. So we are very, very familiar with a lot of businesses that ladies do. And there is also IWFCL India, Dr. Pillay. So I'm not so sure whether any of you are involved in this IWFCI. They run quite a number of countries now, and I think this is also very good opportunities for ladies in India to collaborate with other ladies in other countries. Yeah. On the activities, I just want to update all of us here, taking the opportunity that together with Consent Marks, we are inviting suitable companies from India to join us in these couple of activities that we have planned for May, June, and July of 2023. May will be focusing on food and beverages in Singapore. And then we have also June, which is a little bit more than food and beverages. We have also travel and tourism, training and education in Uzbekistan. So for those who have not been in Central Asia, I think this could be a good opportunity to participate, and this is also a very rare opportunity to basically test your product and services to B2B, B2C. And by end of July, we have another B2B event in Indonesia, travel and tourism. I guess now a lot of things that India and Indonesia are doing. This is probably also a good opportunity. When we go to these countries, we always bring 16 countries with us. Yeah? So just as a business, we never go and do just one country. For example, if we go to India, we'll bring 16 countries. When we go to other countries, we'll bring India to 16 countries, to not only one country. Right? A quick one. This is just a quick sharing. Everybody can go to the website and check these international cafe, the Asia, etc. So there will be 4 events in Singapore. Very good opportunity for all of us to join. We have already booked the place, so we hope that some of you will be interested to join us. This is Uzbekistan in June 2023, which is very, very special event because we are working now with International Agriculture of University of Uzbekistan. We focus on smart farming, vertical farming, which is part of the F&B, education and training programs, and also travel and tourism. Yeah? And this is a very important event in Central Asia. We have UNDP, we have FAO, and also we have the EBRD of Europe joining us. So it will be a very interesting event if any of you would like to participate. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure whether there's any opportunity to take a question. If not, then you can contact us through a consent mark, or if you like, you can also send me WhatsApp. That is my number in Singapore, and also send us email. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. So have a good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rudy. So next we have Pravadepa on stage. Please. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody. It's quite a nice mix of audience that I see, and I'm already intimidated because we've had some lovely ladies and Rudy speak here. And first, I would like to start by thanking Mr. Riaz for reaching out to me on LinkedIn. This opportunity came magically, and I couldn't wait to get on board to especially speak on International Women's Month, talk about women empowerment. Before I get into the presentation, I just want to tell you guys what I do, a little bit background about me. There's a lot. So I currently work as a SaaS consultant for a SaaS company called ChargeBee, where I'm leading the customer success team in North America and Latin America. So that's what I do for a job. But otherwise, my focus is more on becoming a future business and life coach. And we'll get into the details of that towards the end of the presentation, and I do not want to take up too much time. But yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm just going to go ahead. So when I was told that we're talking about implementing equality, and we see equality being pulled around in media, and feminism has become like such a bad word, and without people knowing the true meaning of what equality and how Dr. Nipa spoke about equality versus equity. So let's start from the basics. What exactly is equality? So it is when all people, all of us, regardless of what our caste is, what our gender is, what color we are, what our race is, our profession, our rank, we all are considered equal. Like that's the universal law of nature where every human being born is equal. And then let's get into what is gender equality. Now that we know what equality is, gender equality is when all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. And it is also when they have equal access to all the rights, opportunities, and responsibilities. We can, it's great to say that we provide equal rights, especially in corporate setup. A lot of times we see a mixed setting where sometimes there is inequality, which is very hidden, and then there is equality, which is very out in the open. So here it's about not only will all genders have, say, equal rights and opportunity, but for them to be able to access these rights and opportunities, they will be equally available and equally accessible. And this also implies that we'll have absence of any special privileges that is given to someone based on their gender or their caste or where they belong from. There'll be presence of equal opportunity for all, irrespective of any of these parameters where these boxes where we put people into. And also there is equal satisfaction of all the basic needs. Next, why is it that we need equality? What's happening in the world right now that's so unfair that we need to fight for equality, or we need to highlight about, ensure there is equality everywhere. So first, based on the 30 human rights that we all have, according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 1 speaks about right to equality. It is also known that when there is equality, we are able to address unfair justice systems that are in place. And the reason why a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about highlight how is it that we can ensure that being smart about what our rights actually are and what are the legal foundation of the country or even universally. That's why my presentation is more leaning towards what exactly are our rights, which we are born with without even us knowing that, hey, actually, this is something I should be allowed to do. This is something that should be accessible to me, but because of all the norms and all the discrimination that we face on a daily basis because of the gender that we belong to or the caste that we belong to, why is it that we are not aware of the basic rights that every human being is supposed to have? So also, human beings are generally happier and healthier when they are treated equally. I think everyone would agree with that. When there is equality, we feel accepted and we feel validated, which we all require, which we all need. It is a basic social need for us to be accepted by people who are like us, people basically who belong to the human race. It enhances a person's sense of fulfillment and self-worth. It positively impacts all the socio-economic conditions, basically, I would say, of society. And also the most important thing, it preserves the dignity of every single individual. Now next, where do we need equality? The short answer is everywhere. But to further break it down, we need it at our homes, we need it at the place where we work, we need it in society, and we need it at global platforms. And I'll focus more on the later part of the presentation on how we can ensure that this is established at workplace and why do we need it. But before that, I have a question for the audience. We don't need answers right now, but just retrospect and think about this. So the question is, have any of you ever experienced inequality in any of the spaces that we just mentioned? That is workplace, home, society, or global communities. Unfortunately, I've actually experienced inequality in all four places, but that doesn't let me down because it says more about the miscommunications and the preconceived notions people have, and it's our right to fight for it. I think just like how the past three speakers, Nipa and Rakhi and Swati spoke about, how is it that we have to know our self-worth and stand for what is it that we want and fight for it. It might be a long fight, but it's a fight which is necessary. 1 second, I'll go back to the presentation. Next, we're going to talk about gender neutrality. And so there is a difference between equality and neutrality. I think Rakhi mentioned about how equality is where we hire 50 men and 50 women, but neutrality is when we hire the right person for the job, irrespective of what gender they belong to. That is neutrality. And now, why is it important at workplace? Why would we need gender neutrality? Well, neutrality will ensure that people are given equal opportunities. You see how we should be conscious about using the word people, not even divide by men and women, just people. Why should gender even play a role? Give me a job because I'm good at it, not because I'm a man or a woman. So, equal opportunity, equal pay. And we also need to accept the very obvious differences that both these genders bring to the table. Like how the old saying is that I can't expect to be having protein and gaining 200 pounds to beat the crap out of someone else, just like how men can't bear kids. So every gender, every person, in fact, for that matter, comes with their own sets of capabilities and skills. And we should be mindful of that and give them those opportunities if they fall into the bracket of the job that we're giving them. And it is creating an inclusive and conducive work environment where employees feel secure and happy, and the chances of any discrimination in workplace is removed. So that is the reason why we need neutrality. Not only equality, equality is of course needed, but neutrality, where what the gender is, irrespective of that, I assign a task or a job to a person because that person is good at it, the person is skilled to do that job. And I've seen the person's job, so I want to give it to this person. Now, next. So, before moving on to the two specific topics I want to highlight on, and this came up while we were discussing. And sorry, guys, I have placards because I can't remember things very well. But we spoke about how the future is female. I know I just spoke about gender neutrality and it isn't supposed to be about men or women, but the reason I am talking about future is female because I think, keeping in mind the International Women's Month that we are celebrating, and unfortunately the society that we live in, there still are a lot of barriers that we need to break through. And we are trying to not discriminate by giving women all the power in the world, but trying to lift them up and bring them to the same pedestal as men. Because I think you and I, we all of us see some discrimination happening in every aspects of our life. So to tackle that, um, it was so nice. No, no problem. It was nice. I'll connect with you. Great. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So what I wanted to focus on was persuasive communication first. And what is persuasion? Basically, the art where you're able to influence the decision of another person. Now, this can be at work where you're able to convince your mom or your dad that, hey, I want to do this. Like how Swati mentioned that when you take up a job, everyone congratulates you. But you take up a risky business that you want to run, you'll get a few eyelashes that'll be beating up. But and specifically the kind of environment I was brought up in, doing a job was always looked up to, and doing a job was always looked down upon, whether it's a man or a woman, because being the Marwadi person that I am and the Marwadi family that I belong to, they said, why do you want to do a job? Why do you want to work with another person and take orders from them? Be your own boss. It sounds great until a woman decides to do it. And the amount of support that they get is very skewed. So that's the reason why the focus is more on women, because we're trying to bring all of them to the same pedestal. So talking about persuasion, yes, it's the act of influencing someone's decision and changing someone's mind. But before that, what I've mentioned here, the future is female, and no offense to the men that are here. But the reason for future is female basically is in one of those placards, which I'm trying to look for. Yes, the future is female, and the future looks very bright. It does. And with the global shift that we are seeing in traditional gender roles, the future looks bright, but we will have to make sure that individually we are working towards our own development and not just protesting or just following the herd that yes, future is female and I'm not able to do this job because I don't get equal opportunity. No, when you get the equal opportunity, are you good at the job that we're giving you? That comes with you working on yourself, developing your existing skills, or maybe even finding the skill that you have. Very relatable to what Nipa Choksi had mentioned, where you need to sit down and find what your interest is. What are you good at? What is it that you want to do? Do you see yourself doing the same thing in the next 5 years or even the next 1 year? It takes time, it takes effort, but if you want to become independent, whether even if you decide to become a housewife, there's nothing wrong with that. I think they work a lot of unpaid hours and it's a very difficult job. So if that's what you want to do, you have to be sure about what is it that you're picking up, why is it that you're taking it up, and are you going to be happy and not crib about it like most of us do. So next we'll get into the psychology of persuasion before getting into what the elements of persuasion are. So there was a study that was conducted which revealed that women were in general less confident compared to men, even though they knew that they they possessed the skills, equal skills. They were equally capable of doing the job that was assigned to the man, but they were always underconfident when it came to accepting it or admitting it or talking about it, which a lot of us do. So the research basically revealed that women were less confident than men about their own abilities to communicate their arguments persuasively, even though the ratings indicated that both men and women performed equally well in the job. And additionally, men were more likely to acknowledge their natural ability and skills, while women were very critical of themselves. And would usually incline towards being very modest about their efforts and success. For some reason, women just feel very bad about being successful or being good at their job. I come across very few women who are able to put their foot down and say that, no, I got this job because I'm very good at it. I'm a great speaker. I'm actually really good with numbers, or I'm good at talking with people. That's the reason why I was hired. A lot of us are very modest about these things, which we should not be. I'm not saying you have to toot your own horn where you're bragging about yourself. Like, this does not mean that you're bragging. It's about you branding yourself in a way. And I'm sure you being in sales, you know that you have to first sell yourself in order to sell anything that you're representing at the table. So that's very important. So that brings me to the next question that I have for the audience, especially for the women. Do you think that women are often modest and self-critical despite awareness about their own skills? Like how we had Rakhi, who came on the stage, and I told her, you're a liar. You are a born speaker. It is not possible that someone who is not confident, or who isn't a speaker, comes on stage and speaks the way you did. I think 10 minutes were enough for me to completely be sold on whatever you spoke about. That's power. And that is not something you should be modest about. Next, talking about why persuasion is important at workplace. So I'll break these points further down. So first, to influence people. When you're wanting to climb up the ladder, or when you're at a networking party where you want this particular client to give you orders, it could be at a workplace, it could be your own businesses, wherever, if you want to influence others, the art of persuasion is very important. So in business, if you are able to persuade someone into doing, or at least listening to what is it that you have to say, the job is half done. Next, guarantee progress made in your career. So basically, having strong and solid persuasion skills can convince even your superiors that, you know what, it's not going to be risk taking if I want to give this opportunity to this person, because I know this person is going to guarantee progress. And no one's running a business for free. No one wants to employ people. That's why companies don't think twice before hiring or firing people, because it's business. And if I'm paying you something, I'm expecting at least the same value or something more in return. So in order for me to be able to give you more opportunities, you have to show me what is it that you're bringing to the table. Next, have your voice heard. It is all about influencing people, whether it is at work, whether it is at home, whether it's at... We all have like a good cop, bad cop in our parents, where we know that it's easier to sometimes convince moms to do something, and we tell them, and then they kind of influence the dads, or the other way around. Or we have an elder sister who is like parents' favorite. Every parent has a favorite child, by the way, if you guys think that that's not like, no, every parent has a favorite child. So just having your voice heard is the first step towards influencing someone. You might think that, what if it doesn't work? What if they say no? It doesn't matter. You're at least speaking up. So the first time they might say no, the second time they might reject it, the third time, if they say no again, either they're going to say yes, or you're going to be like, okay, what is it that I'm doing wrong? Let me go back and see that, okay, is there something that maybe I'm not convincing enough? Maybe I'm not making sense? So only when you speak up and get your voice heard is where people will start listening to you. Next, become a key part of your group. Now, very important. So you see, one thing, once everyone knows the art of persuasion, you will be more recognized. And it's art and not a skill. The reason being that an art includes a lot of skills, but though art has elements of all skills, but with skills you develop the art of persuasion. If you are a good communicator, if you're not, work on the skill to improve the art. And skill is basically an ability for you to do something efficiently. And art, on the other hand, is an expression of the things that you are able to perform through the skills that you have. So become a key part of your own group. Contribute something. Talk about something. Talk about ideas. I think all of us from childhood have a habit of not asking questions or not speaking about, because we feel like we're going to sound stupid. But the person who's actually stupid is the one who's not speaking, who's not bringing their point forward. You ask a question, no question is stupid. But the person who doesn't ask question actually is unfortunately stupid. So in order for you to become a key part of the group, whether it's, again, it could be at school, it could be at college, it could be at workplace, it could be a place where you're interning, or maybe an international platform where you're trying to network, If you want to be heard, you will have to bring something to the table. You will have to make sure that you're saying the right things and you're not afraid of speaking up. A person who's very talented, and if they're quiet, the talent is wasted. And if a person who's mildly talented but has a lot of potential to grow and wants to learn is the person people will put their money on. And next, more power to you, which basically is when you make people listen to what is it that you have to say, every decision will have taken your opinion in account. I have seen that happen at collegiate level and also at my workplace, where I was in a position where I was, say, the ratio of men and women in the team that I was a part of, there were 16 men and 2 women, and that's because people don't want to apply for hardcore sales job which requires you traveling, and I had to go to really remote places in terms of areas which I've not even heard of existed in Chennai, where I'm from. So I asked my boss, how am I going to do it? He was like, you figure it out. We've hired you. You figure out. If you need something from us, if you want us to reimburse you for petrol or help you with understanding how do you reach from point A to point B, we'll do that. But you, at the end, will have to go there and sign the MOU and come back, because that's what we've hired you to do. That's why the men and the women have been hired. When you want equality and when equal opportunity is given to you, you have to make sure you're utilizing it. Next, now coming to the last part of the presentation. Now, this is very important for both men and women. There are, I mean, I'm just mentioning 5 in the interest of time, but there are close to 40 laws which actually support women. And the reason being that history suggests that we've had a lot of discrimination happen against women. That's why the laws were set in place. And now, our constitution, Indian constitution actually provides a lot of exclusive powers to women, which they can utilize at workplace and outside of workplace in different situations. And being aware of these laws is not a job of a law student. It is the right of every single woman who, under the Indian constitution, is a citizen of this country. Or even a woman who's not citizen of this country but comes to this country will still have access to all of these laws. And only when you're aware of your rights is when you can fight against the justice which happens at home, workplace, or outside of home and workplace, like in the society. So 5 laws quickly mentioned there. I'm not going to get into details, but Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. It's ridiculous that this act was actually laid out in 2005. It's not even been 2 decades since this act was actually laid out. Dowry prohibition, 1961. There are still a lot of places in India. In urban India, surprisingly, you would be surprised that close to 17% of divorces in urban countries, urban cities in India happen because of dowry, where even the rich families exchange material between them as part of dowry, as part of Indian tradition, apparently. Next, Prohibition of Sex Selection Act. The reason why the gender ratio in few states and in few nations is haphazard is because the practice of identifying the gender of the child at prenatal stage is still a practice in India, and unfortunately a lot of unethical clinics and doctors entertain this, and this leads to like female feticides being killed where the parent does not want a female child. This might sound very redundant, but trust me, it still happens. Happens like very prominently. Next, very important, everyone listen up, sexual harassment of women at workplace, 2013. Do read about it, because this came across after the infamous Banwari Devi case, where workplace here is not just the building where you go for work, but if you've met someone, you've met a colleague, even outside of workplace, but through your workplace, that place will still be considered workplace. Any kind of harassment, whether it is verbal, physical, sexual, or even suggestive harassment, will give you power to either talk to an internal committee member within your companies, and if you are working in, say, smaller organizations, you can go to any local either police station and file an FIR, or go to any lawyer and seek advice, or a senior female member of your company, how big or small the organization, it doesn't matter, they will be able to help you out with this. And last, Equal Remuneration Act of 1976. Can you imagine the Equal Remuneration Act came across in 1976 and protecting women from domestic violence came across in 2005? It's insane, the difference. So yeah, these were the laws that I wanted to talk about. And now, in conclusion, just 2 more slides. 1, know your rights. It's very important. Know what your worth is. and know that we all are born equal, irrespective of whatever boxes we are put into. And that's the end of my presentation. And a little bit about me. I am a seasoned professional. I did my BCom right after school. Then I did MA in Human Rights and Political Science. Then I did my LLB. And currently I'm doing MSc in counseling psychology, not clinical psychology, but counseling psychology, because I love to read and I just do it. Do your research, find out. I wanted to understand the legal system of the country, because when I saw a lot of injustice in terms of how my female counterparts were being paid and how the male counterparts were being paid in one of the organizations where I worked, not naming it due to integrity reasons, but it blew my mind. It broke me completely. And it was a childhood dream, of course, to understand the law of the country and help people and empower women. So that's been something which has been ingrained in me since I was a little girl. And I take up every opportunity possible, whether it is at a platform like this or even at a coffee shop. If someone comes up to me and say wants to understand what is it that they can do to improve themselves, develop their own selves, or even understand what exactly is happening, and can I even fight against the injustice that I'm experiencing, whether it's at home or whether it's at workplace or at school or college. Yes, you can. You just need to find the right resources. I think Nipa ma'am had spoken about find a mentor or find a coach. Don't be afraid of talking to other people. Don't be afraid of talking to someone who's even younger to you or older than you or someone you don't know. If a person wants to help you, wants to coach you, facilitate you, or at least lead you in the right direction, they will, irrespective of how you reach out to them. And what I am here for is I'm passionate about teaching people about the art of persuasion, especially how to improve your communication, whether it is in English, which is a globally accepted language, or your own local language, because your confidence in the body language that you have is the same all across the world. Personal development, not personality development, that's different. I'm not going to make an introvert become an extrovert, but personal development, that's a different conversation altogether. Like it's insane how much I can speak about this. Build how to build your own brand and how to become a consultant, whether it is giving SaaS advice, whether it's crunching numbers and telling how you can expand the market and improve ARRs of company, how much revenue you can bring in, or talking about how I love the products that Drool has, I love the products that Pastella has, whatever it is. For you to become a consultant, you need to be a good communicator, and that's the base that you need to start with. No amount of books are going to give you knowledge about how do you do it, unless you decide that, hey, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to talk to the right people and not depend just on books. So yes, thank you so much, everyone, for being so patient throughout this presentation. And thank you so much once again, Mr. Riaz. I think this was a fantastic opportunity that came my way, and I'm very excited. And if any of you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Pratibha Jain, or else search ChargeBee, that's a company I work for, and search for Pratibha Jain. And if you would like for me to reach out to you, become friends with you, mentor you, help you, talk to you, feel free to reach out to me, or feel free to reach out to Team Cons and Marks, and I will be happy to connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pratibha, for being so amazing and inspiring us with your words. All these speakers can come up for the panel discussion. So on the stage now we have Pratibha, Rakhi, our CEO, Mr. Riaz, and Pooja and Nupur.
So, without any delay, I will give mic to Pooja. Let her have her remarks about her product as well as how women empowerment can be done.
Thank you, Riaz. Very good evening, everyone. I don't have a PPT, so relax. And I'm Pooja, and with me is my business partner and co-founder, Nupur. And we both have started a venture called Pastella Baking Studio. And we have background in engineering as well as management consulting, and we quit our high-paying jobs and we started our venture. So I think our stories speak for ourselves rather than me mentioning what women empowerment is. So all I want to just tell you is today is actually a wonderful day for us, because if you read, I woke up to the Times of India article where our President of India, Honorable Draupadi Murmu, she mentioned about how women are going to lead the societies, and that she's spoken a very well article about equality. So that was one of the beautiful things I woke up to, and I was like, okay, Riaz is conducting an event, that's another beautiful thing. And I was invited to be a part of this event, met lovely, beautiful ladies who are actually changing the world. I mean, I'm nobody in front of them. And the third thing is we completed 2 years of Pastella, so it's our anniversary. Thank you so much. And yes, success is defined in a lot of other factors other than just revenues. And we are proud to say that we have successfully run this venture for the past 2 years. And we wish to run this for many more years to come. And I'll just give Nupur, she'll just brief you about what Pastella is and how we introduce gender equality.
Hi, I'm Nupur. So, just briefly talking about what Pastella Baking Studio is, how it's different from the other standalone bakeries that you see around the city or the country. We make sure that whatever comes onto your plate is a high quality product. It's something that you haven't had before. I think there's some samples going around for everybody to just taste and see. So I don't have to just say it. You will actually taste what we say.
Let's make this as a casual, we are all like same family.
Yeah, let's just please just let it go around. So this is what we call caramella. And this is a bestseller. So if you like this, I'm sure you'll like the other products as well. Right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. No, we cannot say no to this. Yeah, of course I can't. So
yeah. So I'll just say that Pastella is a flavor-driven venture. Okay, we are just tired of eating desserts that are just sweet. So what you're eating right now is a salty dessert. Ever heard of something salty dessert? Yeah. So breaking the rules, being women, we are rebellious. We are just questioning everything out there. Why women can't do it? We've heard a lot of questions out there. Are you sure you want to do this? Or are you sure you want to quit your job and start this? Yes, we are sure. Are you sure you want to put salt in a dessert? Yes, we are sure. And you all are gonna see what we are talking about, because just talking or blabbering about our dessert is not what we intended to. So our presentation is this. Please enjoy the presentation.
and there's another thing that we've had, because we used to be 3 co-founders, 3 women who started this. People have come up and asked us, so are there no fights between you guys? Are 3 women working together? Or is it like there's no problems? And it's something that actually bothers us. Women actually can work better with each other than any, men around.
No, we are gonna say it out. Yes. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Men alone, it would be good. For women alone,
Yeah, I mean, we've been asked this question, don't you have a catty behavior among the 3 of you? Yes, we have. We moved past it. So, we've had fights. We've had days where we wanted to just give up our venture. We just wanted to go back to our corporate jobs. And we just wanted to okay, this is it. We can't do it. But the very second this thought comes, we just let it slip by. And we are like, no, we fight to live another day. So that's our story. We're open for panel.
See, I'll quickly, tell a few things, and then I will pass on to we can have a discussion on the theme. First of all, sorry for the delay in starting this event. By the way, I'm an international affairs journalist. If you can dig with my name in LinkedIn, you can find more things. I have 22 years of experience in Dubai and India. Now, why women empowerment? Actually, even I don't believe in that word empowerment. 4 years back, in Anna University during Women's Day and National Women's Confederation, they honored me. So there I told the girls, we are not there to empower you. You are the power. I'm just a medium. We are just a medium. Use our knowledge and experience to empower yourself, to improve yourself. And I've been trained by the best women in the world. I mean, many women in Dubai. I worked in Dubai. I worked under Indians. I worked under, Americans, British people. I'm amazed by, how they handle things. I salute all of them. In fact, all of you, And I love well-groomed women. Groomed means not only in the fashion, those category of women who say beauty with brains. That's what I believe in. So based on my experience and the thing which I believe in, gender neutrality, as many of our speakers said, it's not about the numbers like equal, because now we have a team of 10 or 12 people in my organization, PR firm Concernmark. Majority of them are girls. I'm also a father to a daughter, okay, to a 14-year-old daughter. So I understand, I mean, how important it is for women to lead right now, and it is your age. We just will give you all the backup. That is from my side what I see. That is my vision. So with that my vision, I created this theme. Now, I mean, you all can add more to about the theme. Okay.
Okay. So, talking about theme, as I said, and I feel that women are no less than men, and we should not just look at the physical aspect. This is the one thing, even we should be proud of this, that we are the creator of the world, right? Even if I say that we should not just look at the physical aspect, even take it as a positive way, that we are the creating the world, hence, maybe from the professional environment, maybe we need some break. Consider that break, it's fine. Do not, I've seen many women, they generally feel that, okay, for 2 3 years, if I'm taking this break because I need to go for maternity leave and all, and need to, born a child, that's fine. I mean, it is, even you're going on a sabbatical, consider it is in that way, then you'll be gonna learn further new things, how to handle a new life, right? How to create a new life, even that's much more positive. Once you come back, you will be, I feel that you will be much more powerful. See any successful lady in this world. I mean, you can take an example of the slide, Indra Nui. She's a daughter, she is a mother of two daughters. Right, so if they can be so powerful, so successful, why can't any other women in this globe? Anyone can be. It is just, most of the speakers talk about it, is just the mindset. We just need to help ourselves. Do not seek someone to help us. Just seek inside, and you'll get the answers, what you need to do, how you need to do. You need support system, that I can understand. That support system also fall in place once you start thinking about yourself. Trust me on this. This also helps. I can tell you this with my own example. I'm sharing everything with my own examples. I'm so sorry for that, but I guess this is the best way to make everyone understand. Before marriage, I was just stuck into studies and, doing work and all. My mother always used to tell me, what would you do after marriage? You need to do household chores also. I said, I'll take cook and maid, that's fine. And after marriage, I was so fortunate because I was programmed in a way that I'll be working always. After marriage, I got so lovely mother-in-law that she used to pack my tiffin for my office. Why it happened? Because it is always there in my mind that I need to work, that I can't be dependent on someone else for my expenses. So I would again say, if you want to do something, the world conspires for that. I mean, this is what even Shah Rukh Khan says in one of the movies, and this is actually the reality. So do not get swayed by that period, even that period will come in your life. That's fine, everything will come. Things will come, things will go, but whatever you want to do, please do that. That would be my suggestion to everyone out here. Yeah.
That was great, actually, and I think just adding a little more to that. Uh, Again, I think I'm going to take advice from her and just talk about my personal experience. So it's better for me to talk about why is it that we need to. Of course, there's discrimination, and it's great that we speak about all this. But how many of us are actually even kind to our own selves? We let these discriminations bog us down. But do we believe in ourselves? Do we trust ourselves? A lot of women, they pick up jobs without proving a point that they want to build a career. And when parents tell them that, hey, you want to again work till 25 and then get married and then do household chores, right? It's great for a conversation that there is inequality and men are given privileges and we are the weaker gender. But are we really standing up for each other or even ourselves? Are we working on our own selves and supporting other women? I was, I was shocked. Whoever the person is that asked you that, do you guys have fights? Why is it that person's asking that? Because that's the narrative that's painted outside, that we don't support each other. So I think that's where the neutrality and the fact that both genders are equal does not mean that we need to berate men or bash men or let them do that to us. So we can, in the name of equality and in the name of discrimination, say that, hey, I am like this because this is what this person was discriminating me against. No, I am in this position because I didn't stand up for myself. A lot of us do that. And again, the other thing, we all want to achieve things when we reach a certain age. By 25, I want to do this. By 28, I want to do this. By 30, I want to do this. When I was 21, I wanted to get married by 24, have kids by 28, settle down, and I want to retire by 35. I'm 29 right now, and I'm nowhere close to getting married, nowhere interested in getting married, not because I want to prove a point, but there's no right time to do things. You need the right opportunity. That is what you want. You need the right partner to get married to. You need the right opportunity which you seek, and the patience and the perseverance that you need to put all comes from the effort you put. So when you put your foot down and you set your mind, please do not hesitate in building a career. Don't think of your job as a temporary job. Don't think of retiring at the age of 35. Even if you want to do that, great. But that should be something that you decide upon and not something that someone else has decided for you. So that way, and I am so impressed when I heard them. So we were interacting outside, and when they told me about how they left their jobs and they decided to follow their passion project, for the longest time I was like, I don't think I could ever do that. I really don't think that, because first, my passion is creating a brand for myself and making a lot of money. Simple as that. However it comes, great, works for me. But taking that risk, knowing the kind of backlash it might get. How many people were actually glad that you're doing it and supported you in the first instance? Must have been family members. That's all. Because and there is a reason. So this is a long pattern that we will have to end. Well, and the small steps that we take in order to make sure that no, I'm going to do what I want to do, not by rebelling, but by proving my worth and telling them this is why I'm doing it. We don't need to rebel against our parents to tell them that no, I'm going to continue being unmarried till the age of 30. No, why is it that we're doing it? Why is it that I want a career and not just a job? So that way, it was great. I think I'm so glad that I interacted with you guys and with you also outside, and it was insane. It's and there is so much content and so much learning out there by just interacting with people senior to you, junior to you, working vertically or parallelly. Just go out there, decide what is it that you want, find out what you're passionate about and what you're skilled with. I can be passionate about running a bakery, but I'm a waste of two hands. I can't bake anything. Is that a right decision? No, that isn't.
The right decision is to come to Pastel.
Yeah. Did you see how quickly I finished the caramella, it's called? How quickly I devoured that. I mean, that goes out to show they're amazing marketers. By the time they spoke about the business, the products were here, and it's great. So exactly. And so that's how it is. You will have to go out of your way. Stop being shy about speaking up. Ask the questions that you want. Ask for the help that you need. So yeah, that's where it begins. So just it's all within you. And as she said, the universe conspires to bring it to you. I'm a firm believer of law of attraction. I can speak all day about it, and I've seen that. I've seen that happen. This isn't something that you just draw inspiration from on Pinterest or on YouTube, that I saw something like this happening and I want to manifest this. And that happens because you need to put in the hard work, not get disappointed when you get failures. There will be a batch of orders that goes wrong. There will be a customer who will give you a bad review. There will be a senior who will not like the presentation that you have made. That's fine. What's the harm? Work on another one. Improve. Learn from what is it that went wrong and try to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So, yeah, I think I spoke for too long. So.
I mean, I want to ask a question to you all. Why did you come for a women empowerment event? Have you ever gone to a men empowerment? Why are such events required in the first place? It starts with the grassroots level. So I'll just say my story. I was lucky to be born in a family where my dad and my elder brother used to cook in the kitchen. So that was the equality I started with. And for me, it became a normal thing. And I've grown up watching Sanjeev Kapoor's, Ranveer Brar's cooking. So since when did cooking be limited to a gender? It was never. And then when I started out the venture as a chef, I saw that it's a male-dominated industry. The chefs are all male. Very few females we have seen. Now, thankfully, thanks to MasterChef, we have seen Garima Arora coming up. So it all begins with home, start at the grassroots level. If you are a sister, if you are a mother, if you are a father, as Ria said, he's a father. Just ensure that the roles are given to the person according to their skill set and not according to the gender. If a girl is good with driving, let her be a driver. And if a guy is good with cooking, let them be a chef or a baker. That's about it.
So just one thing I wanted to add to all of the beautiful stuff that's been said out here. All of them have spoken about building the self brand, being an empowered woman yourself. I would like to add to that, when you go out you're working for a company or you have some of your own business, create that environment for other women to grow as well. Give that comfort, give that diversity, neutrality that you expect yourself. Give that to other women as well. So when we do for say 3 women, they do it for 3 other women. That's how we grow, and we won't, maybe another 10, 20 years, we won't need such events anymore.
I think that's a beautiful thing that Nupur said. So, yeah, in Pastella, we ensure that we create a very safe environment for everyone to work in. If you have any doubts or any questions, they are always free to ask us. And that's how we've been running this venture for the past 2 years.
I think I will have my concluding remarks by adding something to what she said. And also, many of you people must have thought that this is an event. This is not an event with an end. This is a program for 1 year. Actually, apart from journalism, I am also a PR consultant. So I believe PR activity has to be continuously done, at least minimum 3 months. Okay. So if we have to implement the theme, implementing equality through gender neutrality at home, workplace, or among the global community, it has to be a continuous activity. And we need lots of people, right? So that is what we are trying to do. Starting from this event, we are going to build up a community, women community, as well as men, boys, girls, people, even transgenders. Recently, Raki was telling about my team. There are many people who are behind, remotely working behind this event. And also, recently from Delhi, I found out somebody who is from the what he called not, I should not use that word. What is the beautiful word? Yeah, differently able. Of course, I gave her an opportunity, but she was not able to speak, not even speak in the Google Meet or something. So I am strongly taking a decision. Like, of course, I am going to expand using WeWork. We use WeWork as a brand to expand. So when we go to Delhi, definitely I'm going to go her and meet her personally and ask what is her problem. Because as a journalist, that's how I learned many things. Actually, we are jack of all arts, master of none. When I speak with you people or anybody who is having experience, your experience comes to me. Like how Bali used to have that Bali, right? He was having that one necklace or something where he will get 50% of the power from the other. Yeah, yeah. So I am also a different Bali in that sense. Yeah, no, Bali only. Yeah. So like that, I have gained learnings from many people, and so the idea of this program is to continue this talk discussion and exchange of learnings through various programs and through the and also we only support and promote ethical individuals, organizations, as well as anybody who has ethics already in their mind. I think these people during a Friday evening, see when you can see maybe 80 or 100 seats, but most of it is blank. Why? Because it's not our failure; it is the failure of the people. Because we have reached out to 5,000 plus people. Our team has reached out, and in Bangalore alone 1,000 plus. Why they are not able to come here, but they will be now in some movie? It's their loss. It's not our loss. Anyway, they can always come back to us. Of course, I know many people in front of face, they don't appreciate me or anybody, but secretly they used to see my WhatsApp statuses and all social media statuses, and I know, okay, yesterday I saw something and I asked Sakshi to read it, right? people dislike for three reasons. What was it, Sakshi? One is because they don't like you. Another thing, they hate themselves. And third is, they want to be with us. Yeah. So, in fact, in WeWork, I don't know when they are going to kick me out, because many, people from other companies, they are getting attracted to my, vision and mission, and they are coming and asking for, jobs. In fact, today we have two people who are yet to join. From Monday, they are going to join, and more people are from a company, they act just like that. And I don't know, I've not talked to them before, but somehow they came to know about me through Google or somewhere. Okay, I'm also a Google Rias. Like, if you put in Google Rias journalist, spend this time, and it's not about me empowering anything. It's like I just want to create a platform where we can continue these kind of discussions, and we can exchange knowledge as well as ethical businesses. And of course, Pastella people, I mean, I'm looking forward for you to come to Singapore for the food and beverages expo. And also, it's not about, I mean, they are looking for FMCG, technology transfer, as well as travel and tourism. So India is a place for all these things, and through us, we can expose or we can promote any Indian enterprise or entrepreneur to 16 Asian countries. That is just through Rudy. And I have other people in different continents. Of course, Raki's company and myself, we are also going to collaborate soon. The team behind, today's event. Yeah, so I would quickly call all the girls as well as the boys. Yeah, so Sakshi, Asha, yeah, somebody, we all can have a group photo as well. Yeah, so Sakshi, Ramita, Spriha, the newcomers, Shruti, Bhavya. Where are the other musketeers? Call them. Yeah, because three people came, so I put them as three MBA. So I said three musketeers. Then they joined more people with them. So somebody has to take a photo.
Session, a wonderful experience, and I love the idea of allowing me to speak from Mumbai.
Yeah.
Being kind enough to open that avenue for me. And like everybody said, it's important for each one of us to identify and understand who we are and what we want for ourselves. Like, working or career is not an alternative; it's part of our life. It's something that defines you. Besides being, like I said, a mother, a daughter, or a wife. So it's your branding, your personal brand, what you do for yourself, what you get in at the end of every month, at the end of every year, is something that you're really giving back to yourself for all the years of effort that you put in for yourself, for all the sacrifices you've made, your parents that have made for you. So I personally think it's very important whether you choose to, be a homemaker or you choose to work outside, whatever form you choose to define yourself. It's important to be proud of who you are. And I think for all the different narrations that have come by, ultimately that's been the core, as to identify who you are. Don't take a back step because you're a woman, because you have other domestic responsibilities that you have, you're supposed to take over compared to the men, especially in our kind of societies and our kind of cultures. But just be proud of who you are, what you are, and all the efforts that you put in to get to where you are today. To be able to sustain yourself, to be able to take care of yourself, to be able to pamper yourself. And it's very important to look into who you are. And that's always been my core. Even when I was making a career transition from the medical profession towards, coaching and being a healer, there were a lot of hurdles, a lot of, raised eyebrows that I had to face. But somewhere I was very convinced that I had to move beyond where I was. I had practiced for a few years and I knew that was not where I wanted to be all my life. So somewhere getting that conviction for yourself, understanding who you are and what you want. It's not necessary that my qualification decides who I am. My qualification is a part of what I achieve for myself. But beyond that, you can always go and explore yourself further, which only happens when you allow yourself that space and time. Of course, the few years of transition when I was barely making anything came in handy because my husband was well settled. So obviously, understanding your setup, your scenarios, but never hesitate to make that shift or that transition. If you feel your calling is somewhere else, go ahead for it, and definitely you're going to be much happier. Being happier, definitely going to do much better for yourself. So somewhere that's always what I tell most of my clients or any sessions that I take, especially where there are women, because they hesitate for, how if we take a break, that may become a permanent break. If we do something else in which we don't succeed, we may be asked to step back completely. So get over those hurdles because they're your created hurdles. And again, don't hesitate to seek help. whether it is professional help or help from somebody at your end, at your, your within your circle. But go ahead and seek help. Be open about it. Don't sit inside closed doors, inside closed quarters, because help doesn't just come to you. You've got to reach out to that help. And thank you very much, Mr. Riaz, for opening up this evening and giving us this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you. I would like you to stay there so we can take
Yeah.
a photograph. So you will also come on the screen. Yeah, let's stand in the middle. And actually, I want to say that there was one more person who did all the wonderful posters for you, Sonali Sharma, our content writer from Mumbai. But unfortunately, I don't know. Mumbai is a financial city of India, right? They are having frequent power cuts. So she was from 4. She didn't tell me that because she did many background work. From 4 p.m. today, there is big power, breakdown in Mumbai. That is our financial city. So we have many things to improve. When we say that we are president of G20 and when we are going to do, many things and we are going to be the master of the world, that has to be in real action. Infrastructure wise as well as intellectually, we have many things to improve. So it's not just the prime minister or the president's duty, it is each one of us duties. So let's do our part for the nation building, and in that way we all the nation and the world will recognize us. So I want my team come both sides so we all can have the photos. This is Soban and that is Ahlam, Taskin, Ramita. Yeah, there is more space here. Go. In fact, some of them are girls, housewives, MBA students. Yeah. So, one second. Yeah. Dr. Nipa? Yeah. Thank you so much. Should we give our phone and take one? Yeah. Can you just? I think she can come on the stage.
Yes, she's a part of our
that's
team.
my phone. Yeah. Please. Yeah. All of you, audience, you can also come in. Yeah. Please come. Please join for a
Group photograph.
That is Sakshi's mother. She's again an independent woman.
She's Sakshi's
Yeah,
mother.
yeah.
She doesn't look like.
Like that soap, you are remembering that soap ad, right? Santoor soap.
Healthy Arman Santoor.
This one is another soap. Okay, you're getting all of us? These are yeah, vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian. Yeah.
Chalo, let's have dinner then.
Yes.
Okay, so for one last thing, hear me out, guys. Okay, so thank you for all of you being here. And it's been such an honor to hear you guys today. And also, thank you, sir, for creating this event and making this all happen so we could get influenced by all these lovely speakers. And also, thank you so much, Dr. Nipa, for being present here for us from Mumbai.
Yeah, and Sakshi, thank you for coordinating, the stage. I didn't give her any presentation. I just gave the, opportunity. Let them do it by themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was my first time, and as you said, that you have to speak. So yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much.